What is up, YouTube? It's your boy, The Walk 71, replaced David with 4, and I am here with another wrestling review for you all. This one being WWE Clash of the Champions 2019. And before we get this review started, I first want I want to give this that my homeboy, he's been on the channel multiple times, my homeboy Zach, as he's gave me a script, and now I am going to be forced to read this script for this video the way the WWE talent reads this script, and that's to be as monotone as possible. So, here we go. Let's give it a try. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, The Walk 71. Play stay with a 4. I'm here with my WWE Clash of Champions review. This pay-per-view was essentially a setup or filler to another pay-per-view that's next month, which is Hell in a Cell. Show was a 2.5 out of 5. Mid at best. And I'm out. Peace. Alright, that was my attempt. Shout out to Zach. But yeah, my overall thoughts about the show, mainly, it was okay. There was like a few matches I kind of messed with, but I mean, overall, this show was really a setup for Hell in a Cell. This essentially was just a giant episode of Raw. A lot of the matches we saw, like the Becky match. What else match? The Becky match for sure. I have to really just think about it. Oh, the U.S. title match are like gonna set up for matches at Hell in a Cell in the future. But anyways, let's get into it because I don't feel like recording this for too long. So we have two matches on the pre-show. The first one being the Cruiserweight Championship match, because I mean it's always on the Cruiserweight Championship match. WWE Cruiserweight title match: Lince Dorado versus Humberto Carrillo versus the reigning Cruiserweight champion Drew Gulak. Now, most of this match was in and out because I was actually in the library at my school. So I was actually like finishing up my work, but I had the match going. But I figured it's a pre-show match, so I mean I can't miss much. I mean, like the Cruiserweights go all out in the pre-show, and this match was cool, except for the ending was kind of whack. Like I didn't like it. I felt like it might have been, I won't say botched. It just looked sloppy. That's a better correct word. In this match, there was a lot of crazy stuff. We had one spot where Lince Dorado was on Drew Gulak's shoulders, like an electric chair position on the outside, and Humberto Carrillo hits a tope plancha to the outside. That was actually pretty dope. There's another sequence that we get in a lot of multi-man matches, a lot of tag matches where everybody just punches and kicks each other so everybody passes out. We get to the ending of this match, and essentially, Humberto Carrillo hits his little like springboard. They call it the Aztec press, whatever you call it. Hits the Aztec press from the corner. I thought he was gonna win the title to surprise us, but then Drew Gulak was able to take him out of the ring and ended up rolling up Lince Dorado instead of just going up for a pin. But the referee was like trying to make sure his shoulders were down. Then he started counting, and then 1, 2, 3. It's kind of like, oh man, this finish kind of ruined the match. But also, I don't even know. This may or may not be the last Cruiserweight title match on pay-per-views, because there's been a thing where 205 Live might not even exist soon, and it might just go to NXT, since NXT is going to be 2 hours. Boo. It's going to be on NXT, and it's just going to be floating on different brands. So it's just going to be kind of like what the 24/7 championship is, or what the women's tag team title was supposed to be, where they just go to different shows and the title gets defended and whatnot. So maybe we'll see the Cruiserweight title in front of a crowd that cares. Maybe we'll see them have takeover matches that are out of this world. But as of now, I don't know what's going on. Anyways, the next pre-show match you got was one that actually got me pissed. I made a tweet about it. You might see it on the screen. I don't know. I made a tweet about it where I was like, y'all got me fucked up. AJ Styles and pre-show shouldn't even be said in the same sentence, my G. So we got the WWE United States Championship match. Cedric Alexander in his hometown, the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, versus the WWE United States Champion, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, the phenomenal AJ Styles. I just did the pose. The match itself was cool. There's another thing that they did for all the title matches, and I don't know. Hopefully they don't continue to do it. But it's a thing that NXT does with their title matches at takeovers, or just title matches in general, where they darken the lights out and put the spotlight on the competitors. I'm assuming they're doing it on this pay-per-view because this is Clash of Champions. It's all about titles, but in this company, titles mean absolutely nothing. Match itself, it started off hot as Cedric just start attacking AJ, hit a Michinoku driver. Was it the plancha? Not the plancha, the tope con hilo to the outside. He hit his neuralizer, and then eventually AJ Styles caught him lacking, hit a Styles Clash on the outside. So eventually it went from that to AJ Styles working on Cedric's leg, putting him in the calf crusher. Eventually Cedric would try to get some offense in, but it would lead to AJ hitting a phenomenal forearm, and then a Styles Clash for the 1, 2, 3. Very quick match. It was like gone in a blink. Like I remember I was switching it from my laptop to my phone because I was going to the caf to go grab something to eat from Pizza Hut. So I had switched to my phone. By the time I got to my phone, AJ Styles was already holding up the title, so I had to rewatch it to make sure I didn't miss anything, and I really didn't. But yeah, AJ Styles retained the title. That's great for Cedric because it actually kind of builds him up, and now he has, I wouldn't say a reason, but he has something to fight for now. It's kind of like what they were doing with Ricochet, but now they're doing it with Cedric. They just switched the black guys out. But anyways, after that, AJ and the OC attacked Cedric, and then did the 2 sweets and everything. So then we open up the show with the Raw Tag Team title match. Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler, brand new tag team who defeated all other tag teams in WWE in a tag team turmoil match that really grinded my gears for the fact that how do you have a team you literally made up the night of the tag team turmoil and you have them beat your top tag teams with the exception of the Viking Raiders, Experience Machine, whatever. They beat Heavy Machinery. Who else did they beat? They beat Heavy Machinery. If the Lucha House Party was in it, they beat them too. They beat everybody, bro. And then they got them a tag team title match. Seth and Braun, who are in the tag team as well, are the Raw Tag Team Champions because they're supposed to be building for their feud, which was a terrible built feud, one of the worst. But basically, the Raw Tag Team division is based off of teams that were literally made the night of. Anyways, the match itself happened. I was eating, but I caught major points of the match. It started off with Rollins and Ziggler going at it for a minute. Eventually, Braun would get tagged in. It looked like he was about to go for the whole shoulder thing, he does, where he just knocks everybody over. Eventually, it would lead to Roode and Gable. Roode and Ziggler attacking Seth. Seth eventually gets the hot tag to Braun. Braun does Braun Strowman shit. We got to one point where it looked like Braun got super kicked by Ziggler. Looked like Robert Roode was gonna hit the Glorious DDT, but Braun got out of it. I believe he was about to set up for. I think he hit it. I believe he hit it. He hit the running power slam. If I stand corrected, I hope I'm not wrong because I don't feel like watching this over and looking stupid. But eventually, it was a kick out. Seth got involved. It looked like he was gonna go for a curb stomp on Robert Roode. But eventually, there was a point in the match where Braun missed, I believe, Dolph Ziggler with the shoulder block, and I believe he hit Seth instead, and then somehow he ended up on the outside. Basically, it ruined their match because it led to Robert Roode hitting the Glorious DDT onto Seth Rollins, pin, and Ziggler and Roode are your Raw Tag Team Champions. Yay. Don't give a fuck. The next match we got, SmackDown Women's title match, Charlotte versus Bayley. If you want to know what's the story behind it, Charlotte literally said, I'm Charlotte Flair, I want a title shot, and here she has a title shot. The match itself was very short, and I was fine with it because, if the match went long and Bayley won, y'all would have shitted on it. If the match was short, y'all would have shitted on it. I actually fucked with the way they structured the match because you had Charlotte, who is known as being Ric Flair's daughter, and she's known as being she's basically a female Ric Flair. So basically, she got outsmarted by Bayley because Bayley took advantage of the referee, of her, faking out the referee, and then she threw Charlotte's face first into the exposed turnbuckle and won the match. It started with Charlotte basically taking advantage and just beating up on Bayley all stupid. Bayley actually got booed because, this is Charlotte's hometown, so it makes me think that they turned Bayley sort of heel so Charlotte can actually get a pop in her hometown. Whatever. Me just overthinking stuff. But yeah, Bayley basically outsmarted Ric Flair's daughter, which is kind of, you know, storytelling in a way because, you know, that's what she's supposed to do. But she did it instead. Bayley retained the title. I was good. After that, Charlotte just looked disappointed. Next match we ended up getting was for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. The Revival versus the New Day. My boys. I don't know why I did that. Also, I forgot Dash Wilder's from North Carolina, so they got boos and cheers for the Revival. This match itself, I didn't see most of it, and I actually want to get this review like finished as soon as possible, so like it's done, the recording part is done, so I just edit it. So the match itself, I didn't see most of it, I just literally caught the ending of it. But at the beginning, for what I saw, Big E was trying to be more aggressive, but eventually the Revival did Revival stuff. They took out Xavier Woods and then they worked on Big E. I'm assuming Xavier Woods got a hot tag, but it didn't last as much because when I did finally catch the match, the Revival just hit Xavier Woods with the Shatter Machine. Big E must have been dead. I don't know how they took out Big E. I'm sorry, I'm not giving you an in-depth review of this match. Ooh, Jesus. After that, they looked at Xavier Woods' knee and they were like, oh, take out the knee, because previously on SmackDown not SmackDown, it was on Raw. Previously on Raw, they took out his knee with the leg drop thing they did to his leg or whatever. Then after that, they put him into a reverse figure four, or kind of like what Corey Graves used to do in NXT. I forgot the name of it, but it's basically a reverse figure four. And eventually, Xavier Woods tried to crawl to the bottom rope, trying to tell a story there, and he just tapped out. So the Revival, who are a Raw tag team, beat a SmackDown tag team for the SmackDown fucking tag team titles. That makes no fucking sense at all. Like, I'm happy the Revival kind of wrestled their style from what I've heard. I heard they were actually like pretty dominant. Okay, now I just read it. They hit Big E with the Shatter Machine to the floor. So basically they were pretty dominant in this match. That's great because the Revival needs everything they can get. I think them being with Randy Orton really helped them a lot, in my opinion. It really kind of made them better in a way because they were pretty much doing jack shit. So now they're the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I'm assuming they're on SmackDown now. Probably not because, you know, stupid ass wildcard rule. Until you know the actual drafts, I'm pretty sure they're going to get drafted to SmackDown because of the SmackDown Tag Champs, unless something changes in the next couple of weeks, which I highly doubt. But anyways, the Revival are your new SmackDown Tag Champs. Don't know how that's possible. When I go to WWE.com and I click on their name, it's going to say Raw, and they won the SmackDown Tag Champs. Whatever. WWE. Next, we got the WWE Women's Tag Team title match. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, a.k.a. Fire and Desire, versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, these Women's Tag Champs. It wasn't that good of a match. I was actually pretty bored of the match. There was one point in the match where R-Truth actually brought the 24/7 title down, and all the jobbers followed him because it was a segment right before the match where R-Truth acted like a disguised cameraman and sound person. I think Carmelo was the camera person, and R-Truth was the sound guy. And basically, Alexa Bliss snitched and said that he's in the building, pull up with a ref. So she actually tried to pin R-Truth to win the title, but it didn't work, and then they just ran back to the ring. The match itself was just boring. I'm sorry. I like women's wrestling. It may not come across that I don't like it, but I like women's wrestling. Women's wrestling is great. I just hate when it's not great and when they have the tools to be great and it's not great. And this was not great. I can't really even tell you what would pop me in the match. I'll just go to the ending of it, to be honest. We get to a point in the match. Was it Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss? I think it was Alexa Bliss and the other blonde bitch. What's the fucker's name? Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose and Nikki Cross knocked each other out. Eventually, both of them got a hot tag. Nikki Cross did stuff. Sonya Deville did stuff. And then Fire and Desire hit their finisher for a near fall before Nikki Cross broke it up. Got the pin. She hit Sonya Deville with her neck breaker from the top rope. And boom. Like, not off of the top rope. Like, she literally had the chick on the top rope and then she just flipped her. Whatever. After that, oh, Jesus. We got another match. Really didn't care for. The WWE Intercontinental title match. The Miz, who was on Raw, taking on Shinsuke Nakamura, the champion, who had on a superhero cape. Take that for what you will. Dressed up as, I don't know, this Shinsuke bodysuit gimmick has to go, bro. He looks terrible. He looks disgusting, bro. This man looks nasty. He's dressed like my book bag, bro. But anyways, Sami Zayn comes out as well wearing a neck brace, selling an Undertaker chokeslam. I've never seen somebody wear a neck brace from taking an Undertaker chokeslam, but that's interesting. Match itself was, your average match you'll get on SmackDown for about 15 minutes. I don't even know where to begin with this match. We get to a point where The Miz works on Shinsuke's leg, hits a figure four, but eventually Shinsuke gets out of it. Sami Zayn gets involved multiple times, and actually at the beginning of the match, Sami Zayn was talking throughout the match, so that got irritating, but I'm glad they cut his mic off. Miz did stuff. Eventually Shinsuke would do stuff like he did this one thing that Taiji Ishimori does in New Japan where he slides, where he has his opponent on the, like, in between the, I guess you could say the second and the top rope, and then he'll slide into a German suplex. That was pretty cool. I like that. Taiji Ishimori does it in New Japan. He actually gave him a shout out on Twitter. So that happened. Eventually we got to a point where The Miz hits the skull crushing finale, but Sami Zayn gets involved once again. He chases The Miz around, and then Shinsuke came up, Kinshasa him into the ring post, then hits another Kinshasa in the ring. 1, 2, 3. Shinsuke retains the Intercontinental Championship. There you go. After that, we got the Raw Women's Championship match. We have my girl, Sasha Banks, taking on the man, Becky Lynch. Match was okay. The stuff after the match was actually better than the match itself. Like I said, their best match will always be their match at NXT TakeOver Unstoppable, where we saw Becky Lynch actually be taken serious, and we saw Sasha Banks actually get technical. That was a pretty good match. I might actually watch it tonight. But the match itself, I don't know what it was. Like, you would have Becky do stuff, you would have Sasha do stuff, but honestly, the momentum, Jesus Christ, the momentum of the match didn't really pick up till the chair got involved, so I'm gonna get to that point because nothing interesting really happened. Like, Sasha Banks hit the bank statement, but Becky got out of it, tried to turn it into a pin before Sasha grabs a chair, slides it into the ring. Right, she slides the chair into the ring. The referee's distracted. Sasha grabs another chair, hits Becky with it, hits essentially kind of like a shining wizard with her knee. Becky kicks out at 2. So then eventually Sasha gets the chair back in, but she tries to hit it. The referee stops her. Becky grabs the chair, hits the referee in the shoulder with the chair, and I guess the power and the force of the hit was so strong that the referee never got back up. He died. He was in a coma, essentially. So after that, Becky and Sasha just went at it. They went through the crowd fighting each other, went backstage. For some odd reason, Becky put mustard on Sasha Banks' back. I'm glad it wasn't mayonnaise. They fall all the way back into the ring. The chair got used again. It got used again, and then eventually Becky puts Sasha's arm through the chair and puts the arm in the disarmor, yada, yada, yada. Becky stands tall. Sasha wins by DQ. Becky retains. Like I said, for this pay-per-view, this is really just a setup for the next pay-per-view. So essentially, we might pretty much get Sasha Banks and Becky in a Hell in a Cell match, which would be dope. Hopefully, Sasha Banks wins. After that, we got the WWE Championship match. Well, first of all, let me think. Is there anything? No, okay. After that, we got the WWE Championship match. The WWE Championship match. I'm trying to get better at speaking on this thing. WWE Championship match. Randy Orton versus the champion, my boy, Kofi Kingston. The whole build-up behind it is a continuation of what happened at SummerSlam, which I thought was such a terrible ending because they literally did the same thing at last year's SummerSlam. So the build-up has pretty much been Randy Orton, going after Kofi's family, calling him stupid. They going at it. It's basically just a continuation of their feud from SummerSlam because they still mention the whole thing. They went to MSG. Kofi did the whole leg drop through a table gimmick again, but The build up for this match was great because that's when you introduced Randy Orton and the Revival together as a group, and they took out both Big E and they took out Xavier Woods' knee, so that was kind of there. But somehow the Revival or New Day never got involved in this match. It was literally just a one-on-one match. Match itself, mid at best. And I wouldn't even say it's Kofi's fault. I just think it's Randy's fault. And the reason I say that is because I feel like Randy wrestles in slow motion. If that makes any sense. I really feel like Randy wrestles in slow motion. He wrestles like he has a 9 to 5. He did absolutely nothing in this match. As I was saying before the video cut off or whatever, like I said, Randy Orton wrestled a literal 9 to 5. It was not that impressive a performance. Randy Orton did Randy Orton stuff. Vintage Orton DDT. Kofi Kingston did stuff as well. Dives and whatnot. Let's just get to the end of the match. Because the last second of the match was pretty much the storytelling of the match. The reason this whole feud even exists to begin with. So, Randy Orton catches Kofi with an RKO. Kofi puts his foot on the rope at the 2 count. After that, what the fuck? After that, what happened? Randy Orton goes for the punt kick. He goes for it, misses it. Kofi Kingston hits a Trouble in Paradise, 1, 2, 3. He retains the title and a clean victory, so there has to be no reason as to why they face each other again. Unless they just want to give Orton the title. But yeah, I enjoyed that last, second of the match, essentially. The last second of the match was actually pretty great. I enjoyed it. The storytelling part of it. Because that was the whole point of this feud. It was because Kofi basically botched the punt kick, and he called Kofi stupid for it. And then it basically was the unspoken reason as to why Kofi wasn't the champion until now. But anyways, oh my God, I don't know what's wrong with me. Mid-match storytelling ending. The build for it was great too. It's I don't know, bro. Randy Orton he got to speed up his matches, bro. Put his match on 2x speed and you'll be great. After that, we got the next match on the card, no disqualification match. Roman Reigns versus Eric Rowan. Came out, got his first name back, new music. Roman Reigns comes out, gets a pop. The match itself, it's cool. The ending of it though. Ooh, the ending of it was great. So before Eric Rowan even got to the ring, Roman Reigns already pulled up on Eric Rowan. They're fighting it out because the whole story of it is pretty much that Eric Rowan is tired of being controlled, but he almost tried to kill Roman Reigns on 2 different occasions. So they're fighting each other, basically almost killing each other. Different points of the match. Rowan got a lot of offense in. He actually put Roman Reigns through the announce table at one point. Roman Reigns eventually would get stuff in as he hit a Superman punch. Eventually they take the fight to the crowd once again, like the women's title match. They go at it. Roman Reigns gets pushed through another table. They get more towards the stage. Eric Rowan was about to hit Roman Reigns with a camera like he did on SmackDown, but Roman Reigns somehow pulled out a weapon of some sorts, hits Eric Rowan with it. Eventually it leads to Roman Reigns hitting a Superman punch. He tries to get back into the ring, and then out of nowhere, my boy Luke Harper pulls up, takes out Roman Reigns. Eric Rowan gets the 1, 2, 3. The Bludgeon Brothers are back. Eric Rowan, Luke Harper. I thought Luke Harper was never going to come back to WWE after all the stuff they did to him. He's finally back. We got the Bludgeon Brothers back as a tag team. Great. Perfect finish. I love it. Now we can get them as a tag team doing great things. Great stuff. Anyways, after that, we get to the main event. Braun Strowman versus Seth Rollins. Probably the worst built match on this card. I don't even want to talk about how terrible the build for this match was. It was bad. It was essentially Seth Rollins manipulated Braun and made Braun look like a complete idiot because Braun wanted a title match and he was like, "Nah, man, let's go after the tag titles," and they won it. And then Braun was like, "No, I want a title match now," and then they got the title match, but they never really got physical or nothing. But anyways, match starts. Braun starts to destroy Seth before Seth catches Braun lacking, working on his leg. He tries to get more offense in. Eventually, Braun starts to take out Seth again, does this little thing where he runs and shoulder tackles Seth. He does it twice, tries to do it a third time. Seth, same person. Seth moves out the way. Braun Strowman, same person. went over the table. Eventually, Seth goes for suicide dives. Actually, one of them connects with Braun, and Braun somehow managed to break the table by himself. I thought it was pretty funny. It looked like he was going to go for a frog splash through the table like what he did to Brock at SummerSlam. I was going to say Mania. At SummerSlam, Braun eventually gets back into the ring. Braun hits a splash off the top rope. I know that's hard to believe. He hits a splash off the top rope. Eventually, after that, Seth kicks out at 2. Braun starts to work on Seth again before Seth super kicks Braun a couple times, hits one curb stomp, Braun kicks out at 1. Hits another curb stomp, Braun kicks out at 2. Hits a third motherfucking curb stomp, and Braun kicks out once again. After he hit a third curb stomp, Seth was like, holy fuck. So then Braun tries to set up for the running power slam again. Seth hits a pedigree, hits Braun Strowman with a 4th curb stomp, and he beats Braun Strowman. What a loser Braun Strowman is now. He went from being the monster among men to being the jobber among men. Because whenever it gets to a big fight match, Braun loses. That's not okay. So after that, Seth Rollins celebrates. It looks like the show goes off. But no, Bray Wyatt shows up. The Fiend. Bray Wyatt shows up. We get the lights going off. We get the little noise. They show the mask. Has Seth on his arm, hits the Sister Abigail on the stage, and then I thought, oh, the show's over. Oh no. He proceeds to listen to his hurt glove, and he chokes out Seth Rollins and pretty much kills the man, and the show goes off. That was the best ending of the pay-per-view you could ever ask for. It seemed like they were already setting up for Bray and Seth, because there was a whole little tweet that got sent out saying that he was going to face Braun or Seth in a Hell in a Cell at the pay-per-view Hell in a Cell. Then they started promoting it at live events, and then on Firefly Funhouse, Bray talked about it, so it was bound to happen. So we're probably going to get Seth and Bray. Somehow WWE might try to sprinkle Braun into it somehow, and then it could lead to Braun being a part of Bray Wyatt's act, but then that just make Braun look like a loser. But at this point, Braun's already a fucking loser in my opinion. Him and Samoa Joe. But like I said, the show was very mid. It was a C minus. C minus at best. If it wasn't for Luke Harper and the Fiend showing up, it probably would have been a D plus. C minus show. It was really like a setup show to the next pay per view. So it is what it is. Yeah. And once again, I gotta apologize to y'all because I promised on Twitter that I was gonna have a NXT Takeover UK Cardiff review. Never got to it. Too much stuff went on at campus. At one point, the power went out. My building was affected, luckily, but I really couldn't even get a review out because the internet started to become wonky a little bit. So I just had to give up. I just had to, cut my losses and just not upload that review. But if you want my quick thoughts on it, I thought the show was great. I thought UK Cardiff Takeover, whatever the fuck, was better than NXT UK Takeover Toronto. It was a really good show. Walter and Pete Dunne tore it up. Actually, they gave NXT UK their first 5-star match from Dave Meltzer. Gave like a 5 1/4. It's pretty cool. The Tony Storm match was okay. The tag team triple threat match was really great as well. If y'all want to see that show, go look at the tag team title match and the UK title match. Great stuff. Anyway, guys. Also, I'm really trying to get more stuff on the channel other than the wrestling reviews. It's just that the wrestling reviews are so easy to put together. I just record, put the photos up, render it, and upload it. But the problem is I can't get a stable connection here. The internet here at TSU, my school, Tennessee State University, trash. I have a Cat 6 Ethernet cord, and the internet still goes out, and it disconnects me while I'm online. And if I try to stream, I already know the stream's just going to randomly go offline whenever. And you never know when the internet goes out. It'll just randomly go out, and it really pisses me off because I pay a lot of money. My parents, I should say, pay a lot of money for this internet not to be trash. But it is what it is. Like, comment, favorite, subscribe. Do what you do to support me. Follow me on all my social media links down in the description below. Anyway, guys, I'm out. Peace.